Tomorrow it's time for Champions League again, and we're playing PSG in the knockout stage, and this is what I absolutely love as a Chelsea fan, seeing us playing against the best teams in the world. And we have shown so far that we can actually beat these top sides when we're playing at our best level. We haven't played PSG since the Club World Cup final that was on the Maresca, our previous manager, who had his best game ever in that final, and Cole Palmer completely dismantled that PSG side. Now in Champions League, we're going to play them over 2 fixtures, and it's going to be interesting to see how Rosenior will tackle this. What system he will go for. Will he go for a back four, a back five? We have seen him going with a back five when he was a manager at Strasbourg. Also going with a wing back system when we have played against Arsenal. I would like to pick Cucurella in my predicted lineup, but I don't think he traveled. I don't think he's ready to feature after he has been out with the hamstring injury. Let's get into my predicted lineup, and I will actually trust Jorgensen. Even though Sanchez has maybe had his best season as a Chelsea player so far, he's still error prone, especially when we're playing against top opposition. He gets nervous and can cost 1-2 goals, and he has been nervy lately. So I would trust Jorgensen. He's exceptionally well when playing out from the back, has better technique, passing abilities, and composure. And we're going to need that against a PSG that loves to press aggressively. In the back line, I will go with James as a right back. You could argue that we could play him in the midfield as a defensive midfielder, and then we have Gusto as a right back. James can do both roles, but I prefer him as a right back if I'm going to be honest. Fofana and Chalobah will be the centre back pairing. Fofana coming back now, and hopefully he has learned one thing or two. When he has a yellow card, he has to be extra careful when going into tackles. As a left back, I'm sticking with Hato. I don't see the point having Malo Gusto there as a right-footed left back. I prefer having Hato. He is Cucurella's natural backup, so I will continue with him. I think he has done pretty well so far, if I'm going to be honest. His best game was probably against Arsenal, and where he defended really well against Saka. In the pivot, I'm going with Santos and Caicedo. It's important we continue with continuity, that we're building the chemistry and partnerships. Lavia could also be ready to feature, but I think he has played a lot of minutes so far when he's just came back from a long-term injury. So I'd rather have him as a backup, and he can feature for maybe 20-30 minutes in the second half if we need him. In the front four, I'm going to do something bold here, and please guys, don't cancel me this time either. But I'm actually going to give Garnacho an opportunity here as a left winger, and I'm going to come into that very soon. Palmer would be the right winger, Fernandes the number 10, and Pedro up front, no questions about it. Probably our best player this season. Pedro is showing for me that he doesn't have a single weakness in his game. Absolutely crazy what form he is in. And let's not forget, he's not taking penalties either, and he's already having like 18 goals this season in all competition. He's in absolute stunning form under Leon Rosenior. But why I'm going with his front four of Palmer, Fernandes, Garnacho, and Pedro is because I believe it gives us the best synergy in the attack. And Neto is also a pacey player that loves getting in behind like Garnacho, so you could argue that Neto could play as a left winger as well, but I would like to have a right-footed winger that can cut inside. And I think Garnacho is in okay form now. He contributed pretty well against Villa as well as against Wrexham. The reason why I'm going with Garnacho is because he adds that explosive acceleration and pace in behind PSG's backline. You want players that also attacks and move in behind. You don't want every attacker to drop down. You want them to complement each other. João Pedro can do a bit of both. He can both drop down, hold up, link up, but he can also time his run and move in behind the back line. So we're getting two players that can do that in Pedro Garnacho, and we're getting two creative players in Palmer and Fernandez that can feed them with those accurate through balls. Let's not forget, we're having maybe Augusto or James as the right back, bombing up that right hand side as well, giving that natural overlap to Palmer. So this is personally what I would do. Let me know if you agree with me or if you would change anything in this front four. Garnacho has his weaknesses, but who else should we turn to? I think what we saw against Aston Villa, how Palmer, Garnacho, Pedro Fernandez work together, is something I really like, and I think that's something we should continue with and see where it takes us. We have to make use of what we got in front of us. It is unfortunate that we don't have an absolute elite team that we could have on the Blue Coat, but they decided to spend that and waste it on players that isn't on Chelsea level, but we have to make use of what we got. I'm sticking Palmer as a right winger because I believe that is actually his best position. I think Palmer is looking a lot more freer when he's operating as a right winger compared to as a 10. I know he has the license to roam when he's in the number 10 role, but as a right winger it just comes more natural to his game. He gets that overlap, then he can feed the right back, attacking with through balls. He can feed the forwards, running in behind. He can cut inside, take a shot to the far corner. Let me know what you think of this predicted lineup. Do you agree with me, or is there something you would change here? Do you think we should go with a back five, a wing back system against PSG? That could be something to turn to. I think a back four suits us better. PSG aren't in their peak form. They lost recently at home against Monaco and they barely scrapped through to the knockout stage. They also missed Dembele, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, so they will probably play Barcola up front as a false nine. PSG is still PSG. They still have a top manager in Luis Enrique. They got elite players everywhere. Marquinhos, Pacho, fantastic defensive partnership. Hakimi is really deadly on that right hand side. They got Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, as you know, on his day he's basically impossible to stop. James is really defensively sound against the top attackers. I mean, he's the best right back in the world for a reason. I still think PSG is out of confidence a little bit, but as Luis Enrique said in his post-match, I can't even speak, I'm too tired. In his press conference, he said that they're going to try and play the game, which is about dominating possession, playing this tiki-taka fluid football, and lots of rotations between the midfielders and attackers. So it's extremely difficult to mark their players and predict what they're going to do. They also love being aggressive, have a high man-to-man press. I think that suits us. We are extremely good at playing through oppositions, aggressive man-to-man presses. So if PSG is not on point with their high press, I think we're going to play through them completely and create tons of chances. Luis Enrique is playing a dangerous game here. He's going to play perhaps into our biggest strengths. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think we could see maybe a 2-2 or 3-3. Personally, I think our goal should always be to aim for a final when we are in the Champions League. But I think we will get knocked out eventually, because there are so many things we need to fix, especially when it comes to defending set pieces, not getting unnecessary yellow and red cards, because playing with 10 men often is not easy, and we need to get better at staying focused, concentrated, We need to get better at regaining the control of the game after we have lost it. Because once we're losing it, we're going into panic mode and then we often concede goals. We also need to limit our errors as much as possible. We can't give away 3 sloppy goals. Then we're going to get knocked out immediately. But if we fix in those things, continue with a consistent 11, getting the right balance and being more decisive in the final third, we could go to perhaps a semi-final or a final. That's what I believe. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and I thank you so much for watching. And I catch you guys later for the match review after Chelsea Explains out. Bye.